Hello friends, welcome to Tactics and Togetherness. Let us cling together, a stream where we play tactics games and we learn how to love each other just a little bit more. For anyone who's just joining us, we're going to be playing the end of an Into the Breach campaign that I think I have played entirely on this stream, which is with our friends, what are they called? The acid mechs. I don't actually remember what they're called. We'll find out, I'm sure. The aim of Into the Breach is to variously mech an assortment of giant insects out of the earth, so you can save humanity. It's nice. It's a wholesome goal. And the acid mechs do it in possibly the least wholesome way available. They do a lot of killing, but they do it by mostly by damaging themselves. So we have Leggy Hammer, our mech, that just has legs. It's all legs, no arms, just legs. That does a lot of damage by exploding its knees as it lands. We have Gunhaver, who has a gun, who does just a bunch of damage by shooting, but also damaging itself. And we have Slime Time, our mech, who just has a slimy old time. Projects acid onto things and swaps their attack direction when we feel like doing that. And this is all, we just we do a big load of damage by damaging ourselves in the meantime. And as you can see here, we've secured all of these islands. All of these places were big, scary locations for us to secure. And we did pretty well by all accounts. In fact, as far as I can tell, we got no destroyed mechs, and I think 3 perfect islands, all objectives succeeded, which means we get to attack the volcanic hive. And attacking the volcanic hive is a lot of fun. It's a cool 2-stage mission where we get to have a big rock ending to our mech campaign, and we're doing it with a very high strength grid and a very high chance to resist damage to that grid. And look at all these people we saved along the way. Don't we just love them? Look at all these people we saved. Don't think about the people we didn't save. Focus on the many thousands that we did. So we're gonna just make sure that everything is in order. All our power cores are in the right place, and we're just gonna head on to this volcanic hive and do some insect stuff. Yeah, I think I sorted all of this out at the end of the last stream, so that should be fine. So, volcanic hive it is. Now this is the very end of the campaign, and because I would like to free myself from only playing this game on stream, I'm gonna stop playing Into the Breach after we do this one for a bit on stream. I'm gonna switch to a different mystery game instead. So I hope you're all excited for that. It's a game I like a lot. Again, I've never played on stream before, so I'm excited to make a total fool of myself to anyone who's played it. But for now, let's get into this breach. I've also I don't know if it makes a significant difference, but I've turned on grid references for the various rows and columns of the board in case anyone wants to have a chat about what their solution to any particular board state would be. So the thing we have to bear in mind with this mission is we have a volcano which is active, and it does just a wild variety of different things to make our lives miserable. It spits out lava balls. It flows lava down the middle of the screen. It spits out fireballs. And our sort of short-term goal is going to be to try and make sure these insects take as much of the brunt of that damage as they can while we avoid it. So we're in the very positive position of doing a very, very large amount of damage with our mechs. So as long as we can avoid taking too much of ourselves... Oh yeah, that was the other thing that I didn't explain. Our mechs have a global passive, so all of our mechs have this, where if they deal a killing blow, they heal 1. And actually, I think I've upgraded that, so it heals 2. So as long as we can damage ourselves a lot, as long as we make sure that we get kills, so we can heal ourselves. And that's the kind of the theme of this team. We have a very high risk, high reward. That's how a smarter game developer would say that. It's a very risk reward moment. So as is the usual behavior in Into the Breach, we're going to be defending a power grid which is going to be dropped in randomly before we deploy, which is interesting. It means that, like in this case, we ended up deploying our mech actually in a bad place in terms of lines of sight. So we've got that to think about, among various other things. So the thing that I am noticing about this board already is we have 3 attacks, right? We have one here, we have one here, and we have one here. Now, grounded insects really don't like to be in the water. In fact, it kills them instantly. So if we can push this into the water, that's good for us. And also, we want to be able to deal with these, which we can do with this mech. So if we move to, say, here, that lets us jump to G3 and deal just a bunch of damage to all of these things. Because not only do they take 3 damage from being jumped on, not only does this one end up in the water, but this one bumps into this, killing the bomb, protecting our grid, and dealing an additional damage to this insect. So I think I will probably go ahead and just do that, because the best thing about this team is that this friend deals a great deal of damage to everything around them. So we just get to leverage as much of that as possible immediately. See, already we've got less than a third of the threat left to deal with, which is good. I like that. I like not having to deal with threats. So I guess the question becomes, what do we do with the rest of them? Because some way along this campaign I bought a weapon for this mech that lets it switch attack directions of targeted insects, as well as applying acid to them with its other weapon. So if we are interested in, for example, leaving this insect here so it can block this emergence hole, preventing an insect from spawning and taking a damage, we can do that. That is an option that is available to us. So it's a matter of, do we want to swap this attack vector, block this emergence hole, and finish this off, dealing 1 damage to this, but healing, this will be at full health? Or is there a better way that we can do this? And I think in the interest of not taking too long about this turn, I will just do that. Because I don't want to think about this too much. So we're going to go here, we're going to swap this attack, and render all of our insect friends harmless. So you see this here, this volcano erupts, turns all these tiles into lava. If we'd been here, we'd be dead instantly. This is like a water tile that also sets you on fire, which is great. So, just looking at this board, it feels to me like they thought we'd have a lot more difficulty with that last turn than we did. Because if, say, for example, I move this here, what I can do is I can fire at this and it will kill it. Just by pushing it, it will kill it. Which frees my jump mech, which is actually free anyway, to jump over to here, killing this instantly and doing 3 to this, which pushes it to here, which you might think is not such a good thing. But because this is charging as far as it can as soon as it attacks, it'll just slide into the water. So we actually get to clear the board with just 2 of our several attacks here, which I'm interested in. So it just becomes a question of whether I want this here or here. Whether I want it on B or A3.
Hello Robbo, hello Orimeza, welcome to the stream. We are indeed playing mech chess, and I love a bit of mech chess. It's thus far the game I have streamed the most, just because I really like it. But we're not going to be playing it for all of today. I think I'm going to leave this here in the interest of keeping it central. So, you go there, you go here. Just own those things. Which means we have 4 emergencies to deal with this turn because it dashes into the water before the emergencies pop up. But that's okay, as long as we remember to move this, we're in a pretty good position. And this can't repair itself, so we're just going to end the turn. So yeah, spits out fireballs which ignite tiles and also instantly kill anything that ends up on top of them. So this is a unique wrinkle of the final mission of this game, is that you end up with, so these enemy types, scions, they are incapable of attacking. Unlike any other enemy type, they have no way of directly dealing damage by themselves. However, they generally apply passive abilities that sort of significantly affect the way that you try and play the game. Hey Super Awesome Mark, welcome to the stream. Welcome. So yeah, these things apply passive bonuses that make it really hard to play the game. And this one is particularly devilish among them. Oh yeah, Super Awesome Mark, of course, that's Funkstar. Well, that's what everyone gets for having different usernames on different platforms. But hello, welcome. Right, anyway, yes, so what was I saying? What I was saying was this one makes it very hard to play the game because at the end of each turn it will deal 1 damage to each allied unit, which includes non-grid friendly structures, which is something that will come into play in a big way on the next map. So we want to deal with this as soon as we can. Fortunately, it's very easy for us to do that, because if I, for example, move this here, so this is actually interesting. Dealing with this might not be trivial this turn, because, this can move 4 spaces, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that's awkward. So what I was thinking was, I can use acid to move this here, move C2 to C3, and then if I jump back to this space, that kills this. It doesn't kill this, but it... Why is this chosen to attack like this? That seems really weird to me. So I've received a suggestion to push from A4. Now pushing from A4 is good because it means that we get our Alpha Hornet onto this space, and then jumping here rather than here deals with both this and this, because this charges into the water. The problem with that is actually that's not a huge problem. Okay, I think I'm in on that, because what that means is with our tank, which is actually kind of... Oh wow, Funkstar changed their username. Hey Funkstar, thank you for changing your username for the stream. That's really cool and helpful. Because I'm not very smart and would probably get your name wrong every time you turned up. But hello, welcome back. So yes, what that allows us to do is move our tank to here, use its high damage shot to take out this thing, and probably deal with, probably deal like a little bit of damage to this thing as well. The drawback is that we take a lot, we take 2 damage from our own shot. We healed 2, but we take 2 damage from bumping into this thing, and then another 2 damage when it attacks, which is kind of rough, but I think probably ends up being the smartest thing to do. Unless, because this mission ends in 2 turns, this only has 2 turns to damage us, and if it's the only insect in play, because if we kill this and push this, this will drown. And if we gunshot this, it will take 1 still. That means that this only has 1 turn to damage us all before we all get healed before the final map, which is what happens and is very useful to remember on this, is that at the end of this stage, before we move on to the second stage, we're healed. Yes. So I think my line is pushing from A4 to get this to here, jumping to this space, catching fire, but killing both of these, this indirectly, and then moving this to here, firing at this to kill it instantly. Does that kill it instantly? This does 4, doesn't it? Yes. Firing at this to kill it instantly, and dealing 1 to this, which lets us basically pick up this kill pretty easily next turn if we even need to, which we might not. So I'm going to do that. We begin by pushing, then we jump. Abe gets fully healed, so they only take a little bit of fire damage, and we gunshot this, which functionally clears the board, except for this passage damage dealer, which is not a big deal. So thanks for suggesting push from A4, I think that was a good line. Volcano gently erupting away over there. Oh, we also block an emergence this way, which is neat. It means this turn is really easy for us. Yeah, we've kind of... The phrase I would use to describe how this playthrough has gone for us is that we have curved out. We've done a thing at every possible opportunity and are now just... We're just really straying mechs, just strong as heck. See, now we can do pretty much whatever we want. Like, we can put this here, push this into the fire and kill it, render it harmless. We can move this here to push this into this rock and kill it, and we can just shoot this so it dies. Which I think I probably will do, because I want to get them kills. Has this leveled up yet? Yes, what did it get? +2 mech HP, that's an amazing get in the last mission of the campaign to get +2 mech HP. Good for us. Right. Jumpy jumpy. You're on fire. Push you onto there, owned, and shoot you until you're dead. Probably do that from here so we don't end up in the fire, but that's kind of... Oh no, we don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, it's Bob with wait, that's not 5 eyes, that's 4 eyes. Who the hell are you? Hey, welcome to chat. Bang! Kill you. You dead. Yeah, no, I don't worry. I'm not gonna bounce an insect onto my own grid. That's not gonna happen. So that means that we are done for not only this turn, but this map. With 100% kill rate, which is great. That's great for us. That's exactly what we want. So I think one thing we want to take care of and sort of be mindful of for the next map is we took a lot of damage by pushing insects so they died without us killing them, which nominally is a very good thing. We get the insects killed. But if we don't actively deal the killing blow, that means that we don't restore our health. So we want to keep that in mind, just as we think about this. So for this mission, we get another set of randomized power pylons. We get deployed at random, and not only that, we have to defend a Renfield bomb for as many turns as we can. I think it's 5 still, yeah. So regardless of what happens to our mechs, if this bomb explodes, we win the game. Yeah, so apart from just avoiding the falling rocks, we want to deal with this. We want to protect this bomb, which they seem to have made no effort to attack, which is fine. That's good for us. So, oh my gosh, it's Punch Nazis. Hey, welcome to the stream. So, Funkstar says they've been invited to Pirate, so they're going to have to jump off. Sea of Thieves looks like a really cool game. Like, I would probably be playing that if I could, but I can't. So I will just have to deal. So what I'm thinking when I look at this screen is they're not attacking the Renfield bomb, and they're not making they're making a pretty significant threat to the grid. So I want to try and protect the grid, but I'm not super concerned because we have a lot of grid HP and a lot of grid defense. So we're actually, we want to deal with as much of this as we can, but we're actually fairly favored to do fine anyway. But
Yes. So basically, I'm looking to try and clear out as many of these big threats as I can. And the biggest threat is this Firefly Leader, which does 4 damage to spaces on a line, on a line with it, and has just a buttload of health. So really, I'm looking to kill that if I can. But how can I? So this can move 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. This can make 1 jump, and this can move, is it 6 spaces? Okay, so my line to kill this, and we still take quite a lot of grid damage if we kill this. We still take up to 2, which is a lot. But my line is to jump this, push this with acid, and then shoot it. Because the problem with these things, and one of the reasons they're so formidable, is not only do they have a boatload of health, they're also immune to water, which means that pushing it into this lava will only set it on fire, it won't drown it, unlike every other insect, which will drown if it goes into lava, or every other non-flying insect. So if we put all of our resources into it, if we put all of our resources into this, we can kill it, and this, which is pretty good for us, because this is a huge damage source, it does a lot. The concern is that still leaves us taking 2 grid damage this turn, but with 4 turns before the end of the game, more than 2 actually, we take 4 grid damage this turn, which is actually quite a lot. So the suggestion is, instead of doing that, we want to try and do, because we can deal with all 3 of these, or this if we want to, if we give up on killing this for this turn, which often turns out to be a good idea. Hey downright Duddles, welcome to the stream. Yeah. But yeah, it often turns out to be a good idea to leave these things, especially since if we lead with this, we get to apply acid to this, which means that it has, is it 7 health? Yeah, it has 7, no, maybe 6 health. That looks like 6. Yeah, 6 health. So what that means is, if we apply acid to this, it will take twice damage from any of our weapon attacks, which means that any jump or gunshot will kill it. And it also gives us a load of options to deal with it by pushing it into the way of an enemy attack, which is kind of good. So, with all of that said, I think our line is best served by ignoring this bomb and dealing with this, this, and this, just so they don't do any damage. Yeah, because you can't attack from inside the water. Yeah, okay. And if this doesn't go to plan, we still have our reset, I guess. So, the line is to do this, to end up here, do this to get you into here, and then do this to get you onto this environment space so you're killed before you can deal any damage to our grid. And I think that's the best we can do. So we're going to do it. Lost 2 power. That's annoying. Okay, the insects that spawned this turn aren't actually that strong, so that's cool. Okay, that's fine. That's not fine.
Yeah, Oromeza says this is the map to lose power, and that's absolutely right. Like, as long as we have 1 power by the end of this, we've succeeded. So, you know, if we're going to lose power any time, it would be now. It's just losing 2 at once is kind of bad for us at this point, because the way that spawns happen at this stage in the game, you can very quickly lose track of the game and just lose, which is rough, but can happen. So the thing that we have another environment tile here, which is these tentacle tiles, which not only instantly kill units that are left on top of them, but you know, the tiles turn into lava as well. So there's that to worry about, which means they're very lethal if you can push insects onto them, but otherwise you need to be careful, basically. So we want to move all of our units off these if we can, because that's the other thing about the tentacles, they tend to target your units because they are, you know, whatever nasty insect we're trying to blow up with this bomb. Now the other thing about this map, this board even, is we have a Renfield bomb under threat by this thing. It's only 1 damage, actually, which is not that much. And this blobber has elected to bomb our units in a space we were already looking to move out of. So we can basically just ignore this attack, which is good. It's really good for us. So the question becomes, what do we want to deal with? Because we're facing grid damage here, and we're facing grid damage here. They're attacking the same grid, which often turns out to be worth noting, but as it stands, we're facing not insignificant damage to the grid from 2 fronts. Not only that, but our Renfield bomb is under threat from the Scion Tyrant as well, which I mentioned previously. We need to figure out a way to not let this thing run away with the game, because if it can sort of run off and hide, end up in places that are disadvantageous for us to attack, it can just chip away at our Renfield bomb for the rest of this map, and we'll lose the bomb, and that's really bad for us, so we don't want to do that. So the big objectives for this turn are move out of these spaces, deal with this, and try and solve this problem. But how? Okay, well, as I stated, any attack on this is going to be enough to kill it, so that's good. That's what we want. We want to kill this. But what else can we do? Can we do better than killing this? Because the real annoying thing about this is the space, like, we could jump this and bump it into one of these rocks to kill it instantly. But to do that, we would have to finish our turn on this tentacle space, which means that we'd be sacrificing one of our best mechs to do that, and we only have so many mechs, we only have, you know, we don't want to do that, basically. Because this thing blocks up nearby paths to keep itself protected. So I think a good turn on this map looks something like dealing with this, and this, and this, and probably ignoring this, because this is very fragile and dies very easily. Whereas this thing is a huge pain in my ass, and I just don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with that. So Oromeza is saying you could push I could push my jump mech with my acid mech, which is absolutely true. This can be used on any target, it doesn't matter who you hit with it, it will push them. But as they say, it's not great, and I agree, because applying acid to your own mech when your mech deals a load of damage to itself is really bad. Because acid doubles all weapon damage, which means that if I deal 2 damage to myself with each weapon attack, that doubles to 4. Which suddenly becomes a really bad damage trade-off perspective, because if I'm not healing a significant amount with every attack, I'm losing health, and that's really rough. I don't want to do that if I can avoid it. So because I think the thing is, unless we can okay, so I think I've settled on an idea. So if we jump to here, we kill this and we break this rock,
breaking this rock lets us interact with this much more meaningfully than we are at the moment. Because at the moment, to push it, we need to be attacking from this angle. The only way we have of doing that is standing on this tentacle space. So if we jump here, we break this rock and we kill this scion, which achieves one of our short-term objectives for this turn. Now, this can move a really long way. And what that allows us to do, if we break this rock and kill this scion, is that it clears this space, which means that we can move our acid mech to here and push this alpha digger onto this space, which leaves it on a tentacle space. And even though the tentacles are insectoid in origin, they will still kill insects if they destroy the tile they're on. And that's the advantage that we have over the insects, is that we can plan ahead. Everything is bound to happen, but we know what's happening. And the insects have a very sort of unintelligent and predictable AI that they have to follow. So that allows us to move here and shoot this to here, which means that we've killed this, and because we've moved this out of the way of the grid, it's not going to deal any damage, which frees up our big tank to kill this. Which I think, it means our Renfield bomb takes 1, but the thing that is giving it 1 is the weakest thing that could be doing that, whereas anything else that we leave in play stands to be a much more significant threat over the course of this game, short though it may be. The only thing that I think is lacking about this turn is that we leave this blobber alive, which is a real pain, but I think, if not optimal, this is at least close to optimal, so I'm going to go for it. Damage. 8 damage per shot is unreal. That's so much. That's just so much. And we end this turn on full health, which is really good for us. So, yeah. So yeah, whatever is at the bottom of this hive is is angry. It's a big old tentacle beast. Okay. So this turn, we're going to have to deal with this mechanic, which is that some of the insects have a real tendency to tether mechs in webs. And a mech tethered in a web can't move, which is really annoying. If you're like this mech, your firing path is constrained to cardinal directions from where you're standing. So really, you want to break this tether if you can. And the only way that you can break a tether is by killing the insect performing the tether, or by moving either the insect doing the tether or the thing being tethered. So before we can consider moving this, we need to deal with this. The good thing is you can still fire your weapons while in the tether. So if, for example, you were a gun thing, you could shoot the thing tethering you and that would be fine. Or if you're a jumpy mech, you can just jump out of it, which is great. So what else have we got to contend with this turn? We have a grid damage coming from here, we have one coming from here, and we have one coming from here. Can we deal with all of them? Probably. But how? Ooh. Okay, so if we jump to here, we have the dubious honor of letting this scorpion kill this alpha blobber, which is great. I love that. We also want to deal with this, this, and this. Yeah, so the problem with spending an action getting this out of here and dealing with this is that it doesn't actually solve any of our damage problems. It clears this up for later, which is great, but it doesn't protect the grid in a helpful way. And that's kind of annoying. That's really annoying, actually. So just wondering if there are any ways that we can spend this action and help. Because if we jump here, it does kill this, but it destroys this grid, which is kind of counterproductive for us. And I'm having some difficulty thinking of a way that we can get this out of the tether without spending one of our actions not dealing with one of these threats. So another thing that's worth noting at this stage in the game is the game will last another 2 turns. So 5 grid is actually quite a lot to have at this point. Like, we can take this 2 damage to our grid and still have 3 left to play with for the next turn. Okay, so okay, so someone in the chat is suggesting a line where I kill this with a tank to free this so that it can land here and push this onto here and this into here. So it's worth noting that that kills this and this, but what's the problem with that? So it does ignite this mech, which is sad. If we finish our turn in this lava space, or indeed just end up stopping there in any way, we catch fire. But that's not a huge problem. It's not a huge problem. So yeah, I don't hate this line. The only problem I have with this line is it doesn't kill this, which means that if we deal with this turn, we still have to deal with this next turn, but yeah, like, I think this is probably fine. At the end of the day, this part of the stream was always going to be a victory lap. Like, we've been very, very strong for a very long time as these acid mechs. You know, we just had to claim the trophy. And I think I'm probably going to do the suggested line because I like it. We don't even need to spend our action on this because this will kill it. So we can, I guess, apply acid to this instead. And then for good measure, this will get killed by the emergence. Yeah, I guess that was what was part of the line, huh? Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's make sure I've made no mistakes. It doesn't look like it anyway. Yeah, cool. Definitely avoid those rocks. Bait these insects into killing each other. Block an emergence, and we just have to deal with 2 alphas for this turn. And as I've mentioned before on this stream, this is my favourite bit about this mission, is that right at the end, the tentacle beast, or whatever it is that's about to get exploded inside the hive, gets real mad and just shears the map in half, and it looks really, really cool when it happens. So we get to do some tricksy things here, because this has already got acid on it, and this does a lot of damage. So what I think we can probably do is, if we move this to here, we can jump on this, oh sorry, land here. So, because what I'm thinking is we can apply acid to this. Can we apply acid to this? If we can apply acid to this, we can move to here. We can move to here and fire at this. Actually, this dies anyway. This doesn't even need acid on it. That's interesting. So in that case, what I'll probably do is, because firing from here has the benefit of not only killing this, but destroying this as well, so we don't take any grid damage from it. So all we need after that is a way to deal with this and this, which we can do by, well, this is going to involve this jump, and I'm going to try and not land here because I don't want to get killed by these tentacles. Even though Bethany is going to be the pilot I'm going to carry forward, I just don't want Abe to die if he doesn't need to. But how are we going to deal with that? Because if we land here, it's going to damage our grid. And if we land here, it's going to damage our bomb. But it is going to kill this. And it's only going to damage the bomb for 1. So yeah, we don't need to kill this really, do we? So if I were to, for example,
if I were to, for example, move this just to in any generic direction, move this here, fire the tank this way, that would destroy this and this. This is not actually threatening anything at that point, which means I can move this to here and jump it to here, which kills this and only deals 1 to the bomb. And then the bomb is completely safe because there are no other damage sources in play. So I think I will probably do that. Yeah, because this is not a damage source, so we're fine. So I'm gonna do that. Get you just somewhere out of the way. Make sure that all my moves are on. Yeah, because you can't undo, for obvious reasons, you can't undo a move after you have taken an action. So if you're sort of brainstorming your turn, make sure you remember that. Generally before I do anything, I like to try and undo all my moves and make sure everything is untouched if it can be. So you can go here, you can go here, and you can go here. You die. And you die. And that, I believe, is into the breach. Oof, look at that. Love it. Absolutely love it. Hazardous mechs, that's what they were called, the Acid Friends. And that's that. That's this timeline saved. Because if you don't know, part of the conceit of Into the Breach is that time travel has very recently been invented, and has meant that basically this struggle against these giant insects is fought across infinite timelines at any one moment. We finish one fight and immediately begin another on another timeline. It's nice. It means that what is normally just the game loop is actually narratively a time loop, which I think is a very smart and very interesting way to work a roguelike structure into the narrative of a video game. I like it. It's good. So we directly saved about 18,000 people and apparently saved 4.6 billion people all across the Earth. Great, we did it. That means a lot of people died in the initial invasion, which I guess makes sense. They're very big insects and the Earth is looking like it's in a pretty shitty way by the time we get there. But good for us. Well done, everyone. Well done to everyone who gave me a solution suggestion that ended up into the playthrough. Thank you for your help in saving humanity. Oh, hey, Lokai, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I think we talked about this, you and I. We talked about our sort of differing approaches to the Acid Friends. I just gelled with them really, really early on. Like by the sort of halfway through Island 2, it clicked, and I was able to just sort of. You get to this point in this game where. With an individual team that you really click with, it just becomes like a dance. Like I think Austin Walker wrote about this at some length, and just you move with such a rhythm and such a grace that I guess the way that the insects try and perform attacks against you, it doesn't really make any difference. You just sort of dance around them and explode your knees to damage them. It's great. I love it. This is a very well-made video game. If it looks like your kind of thing, it almost certainly is. So, one of the major features of the time travel sort of subplot of this game is we get to pick one of these pilots to send back in time and teach the next generation of insect fighters how to defend themselves. Now, normally, who would I pick normally? I'm not really sure, actually. Basically, who you pick is quite heavily influenced by which team you're going to use next. And if I was using the Acid team again, for example, I would pick Abe, because he's armoured, and that means that self-damage you do to yourself with every attack is actually 0, because it counts as weapon damage, and armour protects against weapon damage. But because there is an achievement for having a pilot in the final battle 3 consecutive times, and I'm looking to get achievements because I need the achievement coins to buy the different teams, because I haven't actually bought all the teams yet. I'm going to pick Bethany because Bethany's been in 2 final battles already. Now, the other reason for that is that there is a mech on the ice team, which I think I'm going to try and learn next, which freezes a target and also freezes itself. And one of the features of Bethany's shield that we didn't really get a lot out of in this game because she was taking so much self-damage is so the shield negates the first instance of damage. So if you take 4 damage and you only have 2 health, the shield will reduce that to 0 once, and that's great. But while the shield goes unpopped, while you still have the shield on you, you don't take negative effects from any terrain or non-damage events, I guess. So you don't trip landmines, you don't any of that kind of thing. But the mech that freezes itself and freezes a target doesn't freeze itself if you have a shield. So I think I'm going to pick Bethany and change teams. Where are the freeze team? Frozen Titans. There we go. We only have 7 coins. That's annoying. I thought we had more. Oh well. So what achievements do we have left to get? I mean, we have all of these squad achievements left to get. We have a couple of Steel Judoka achievements, a Rusting Hulks achievement, all the Blitzkrieg achievements, and a hard win, some other stuff. Yeah. And I think this is probably the best way we can spend our money. Oh, we actually have 3 teams left to buy. That's not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, I guess that's what I'll do. I'll buy the Frozen Titans, and we will get Bethany into this ice mech, because that seems cool. So, what does this team actually do? I don't know. Oh wow, that seems really good. We bash the enemy and flip its attack direction. So there's no push, but the attack does get flipped. And we do 2 damage, which seems strong. We also get a mirror mech that fires 2 projectiles in opposite directions. That seems really good. And we get an ice mech, which freezes yourself and the target, which would probably be annoying if you were actually getting frozen. But we're not. So, yeah, that seems good. I like this. So unfortunately, having talked at length about how much I'm going to enjoy this next playthrough of Into the Breach, I'm not going to play it on camera because I'm kind of tired of playing Into the Breach on the stream. You know, I've enjoyed it, but I'd like to take some time to just play it for myself for a bit. You know, come back with a more rounded perspective on the game. So for this, the rest of this, and the next few sessions of Let Us Cling Together, we're gonna try a shiny new game, which I'm excited to try actually. So I guess bear with me for a second, and I'll get that going. Hello friends, welcome back. 1 second while I get this OBS capture working, because you can't edit that off screen while you're streaming, which is weird, but anyway. So let's see if that works. Work, you coward. It worked. Look at that. Perfect. Ooh, the cursor is wrong. That's weird. Can we fix that? Properties. It does not look like we can capture that, which is weird. It's wild that that's wrong in that way, but oh well, that's fine. We'll get over it. Together, we'll work through it. So, for anyone who is not familiar with this is Invisible Ink. Invisible Ink is a game by Cly Entertainment. It's a I was looking for tactics games to play instead of Into the Breach because I wanted to stop playing Into the Breach on this stream and move on to other things and have this as more of a, I guess, a tactics variety stream. And I think Into the Breach is a perfect way of doing that. Into the Breach is Invisible Ink is a perfect way of doing that. Invisible Ink is such a good game. Like, it's kind of unfair how good it is because a lot of people played it after having some issues with XCOM, Firaxis's XCOM series. And like, I was playing through XCOM and I was thinking, yeah, this game has some issues, like, but it's fun. It's really cool and fun. And then I played Invisible Ink and it's just so much better. And I like those XCOM games, but this game it's unreasonable how good it is. It's just so smooth, so well made. Ooh. Okay. So.
Operator, we have a delicate situation here. Decker found himself some trouble on his day off. Something involving a whiskey bar and his big loud mouth. He's usually better at covering up after such indiscretions, but this time FTM security got the drop on him.
So yeah, first thing, voice acting, love it. All the characters are just really, really good, really well designed, but like with very, very subtle strokes. It's like, I don't know if it's quite cyberpunk, it's sort of more of a, I don't want to say generic, but like a sort of classic, I guess it's cyberpunk, yeah, let's say cyberpunk. And like cyberpunk, all of these characters are like, I guess, sort of noir-y archetypes, and they do that in a really like gentle but really fun way. I love it. I love it. So, this works on an action point system. So you can see we have this total up at the top here, tells us how many action points left we have to spend per character. Decker has 3, which means we can move 3 spaces. So we're going to move 3 spaces. We're going to try and get towards this door just for this tutorial. And yeah, so
Let him catch his breath.
yeah, Decker. This character is called Decker and has this hat and this long coat. It is exactly that subtle pretty much the entire time. But I love it. It works so well. So the game's just telling us that it's turn-based, which indeed it is. So we get to end the turn. And we go up to 8
Get to the door.
action points, which is a more reasonable amount to start a turn with. So we approach the door, and approaching doors is like,
Have visibility on the hallway.
it's sort of, I guess, one of the parts of the primary loop of Invisible Ink, because we can spend an action point rather than just kicking the door down, because we're trying to sneak around, we're sneaky industrial espionages. We can spend an action point to look through the door. We see that there's
Get him out and be careful not to alert the guard.
we see that there's a guard on the other side of this door. So that's already we have like quite an interesting thing about Invisible Ink. Like there's a tension available here, which is that peeking through the door, refreshing your view of. Oh, is part of the screen cut off? Let me see if I can solve that. 1 second. Come on, OBS, you can do it. Oh wow, yeah, the resolution's way off. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. Whoop. Oh, I see. The ratio is fiddly. That makes sense. I can't make them match. I guess Invisible Ink's native resolution is a little bit off. Okay, we'll just leave that in the middle and hopefully that will work. So yeah, there's a tension available here, which is that gaining information about what's on the other side of the door at no cost to yourself, at no cost to being seen, does cost you action points. But just opening the door, just like not kicking it down, but just blundering through it, doesn't cost you action points. So if you're really in a rush, if you really want to throw caution to the wind, you can just open it. But anyway, we've peeked through it, so we know roughly what's on the other side. So, we're just gonna move Decker into this room.
Decker's tools should be in that safe.
And
Neural disruptor to take down these guards.
well, there we go.
So this is just the tutorial, so this safe is open, but generally, I would say in the general case, safes are locked and you'll need to hack into them to get into there. Is that just me, or are security guards in games like surprisingly unhappy with their jobs? Like, I know being a cop for like a private cop is probably not the most emotionally fulfilling job, but there's never anyone who takes any glee in doing security guard things, is there? It's always miserable. So another thing that's worth noting is that we have these sort of Metal Gear Solid style cones of vision that we want to avoid, obviously, if we want to avoid getting seen. There are two tiers of being seen by either a guard or security cameras that we'll see later on. If we move into here, we can see that our sort of, I guess, cursor turns yellow, and that indicates that the guard will notice us, which means that having seen us will affect the actions that they take, but they will not immediately sound the alarm. This is red, which means that the guard will have directly seen us and will immediately yell, "Who's that?" Maybe point a gun at us. As we can see, this friend has sort of a gun-looking thing in his hand. So definitely want to avoid reds, but it's worth noting that if you want to gamble, if you want to take a little bit of a risk, you can be noticed. You might even be able to use that to your advantage if you're feeling fruity. So, but because we don't have any of that on our turn here, we're going to move here and own this guard. Look at that. Radical praxis. So, that tooltip is explaining that having knocked out this guard with our neural disruptor,
but effective. Proceed to the next door.
The guard is knocked out for 3 turns. See, it says it's alternating between 3 and pin here. Now, a guard will be knocked out for this count of turns for as long as there's no one sitting on them. If you sit on a guard, you stop their wake-up timer from counting down, basically. So that, again, is already a very interesting thing you can do. You can move the bodies so that they don't get seen, or you can rob them, which is what I'm going to do. And as Central said, we're going to proceed to the next door. We're not going to open it immediately. We're going to play cautiously, even though this is the tutorial. And so this is fine. So I think maybe one of my favorite things about Invisible Ink is right here. So for a tactics game, the reality of playing a tactics game is that you have a lot of actions that you take the same way in the same situations. Like, for example, like the original XCOM had this problem. The original Firaxis XCOM had a problem where cleaning up maps of aliens once you'd sort of seen them all was kind of businesslike. You just sort of did it because you had to. And that's regularly very uninteresting. And a thing that you do often in Invisible Ink is you look through a door, you see that there's nothing on the other side, or maybe you're okay with moving through it. You move through the door.
Close the door to cover our tracks.
But as Central says, you need to remember to close the door. And closing the door doesn't even cost you an action point. So as long as you move methodically enough, you never have to forget to close the door. But because this is a very stressful game to play, you really often will just forget. And I think that's really cool.
We're going to need power in order to hack their system. Jack that console for a quick boost.
So, as Central is saying, we need to make sure that in order to do us a hack, we need power. And this is a magical world where you can just download power from internet consoles. Sounds great. I'd love to live in that world. So, we're going to end our turn. Yes, Incognita. So Incognita is how you do your hack. She's like a sort of a kind of Wintermute style AI that can see the whole grid at any one time, and you can install a number of programs on her to do your hacks. Now, we can't see anything at the moment that is worth hacking, but probably as soon as the game begins, we'll end up with just a whole bunch of really nasty hacks that we can do, and Incognito will be invaluable in that endeavor. So this is an interesting thing. We can see that we can't see what's in this space, but we can see that whatever is in here is being seen by the enemy, which is kind of an interesting thing. Incognito doesn't tell us anything, so I'm going to gently assume that the game is not rendering something. Now, the game is telling us that having opened the door, we can, again, at the cost of another action point, peek again to get a more complete picture of this room, which is cool. It makes sense. It's gives you the interesting value proposition of having to peek twice through the same door, spending more action than you wanted. But at each stage, you're mitigating the risk, right? I think that's cool. So, Incognita is telling us that she can hack this security camera.
The whole building. We need Incognita to hack it.
So as we can see, Decker is kind of stuffed if he has to try and move past this camera, because the camera, this isn't Metal Gear Solid. The camera's just point in one direction pretty much forever, and we got red cursors all over the shop here. So what we're looking for is a way to deal with this camera, and Incognito is that way. So the agency has provided us with lockpick. Lockpick owns. It's very power light. Lets us just chisel away at firewalls on secured systems and hack them. Oh, that beeping's real annoying.
Its eyes are ours now. Let's keep moving.
So hacking a camera is great. It means it doesn't see you. It means it doesn't alert the security staff to your presence. It also means that you will have vision in this room for as long as you control it, which is great. Lets you see if there are guards trying to chase you, for example. See, it would have been really easy there for me to just move my full move length, but closing the door is better. Remembering to do that is better. And every time you forget that, you'll feel like you'll feel the worst in the world. It's so good. I love it. So we are moving this way, I believe. I'm going to move to here first. Get some.
Get into position beside that door and scout the next room.
Can I? No. Get some more vision. Continue moving. Is that a gun? Can I zoom in? I can zoom in. There appears to be a gun on that. Unless it's like maybe like a diorama or something. It's kind of gun-shaped. That's interesting. Kind of weird. Okay, so we end up here. That's not what I thought I clicked on, but that's fine. We can peek. And there's a guard on this door. Now, the game is again looking to teach us.
Let's give him a reason to, shall we?
The game is looking to teach us that we can have the guards move in predictable ways by altering their environments. So that's another thing that this game relies on very heavily, is using your resources properly. It's always possible. Well, using your resources, it's always possible to determine, like deterministically, no variance, exactly what the guards will do, and plan your turn around that. But eventually, you want to use those action points to move rather than to just observe the guards all the time. So again, this tension emerges. Do you bet it all on your ability to predict what the guards will do, or do you go more slowly and spend your action points determining what the guards will do? I think that's really cool. But in this case, what the guard will do is pretty clear. We're going to open the door, and he's going to come and investigate.
Make sure Decker's ready for him.
I'm going to put Decker into ambush mode, which means that as soon as a guard ends up close enough to get owned, they're going to get owned. Wow. Owned.
Nice work.
I love
We're
it.
almost there. Keep out of sight and we should be able to get out of there in one piece.
You're going to get robbed. We're going to move to here. Whoop. Close this door. We're going to go here.
Gonna have a look through this door. And there we go, we have a game loop. Peek through door, deal with room.
Hold up. Incognito has detected danger around the next corner.
Oh yeah, we need to, so yeah. This is an interesting thing. Well, actually, we'll talk about this in a minute. For now, we'll just get this power. Move to here. Peek around this corner, which we're learning about just now.
We should have enough power left for Incognito to bypass that hardware.
And Incognito is going to hack this camera for us.
Alright, let's keep moving. The teleporter is just up ahead. Get to it and we'll use it to return to the jet.
So yeah, Central is just pointing out to us that sort of, I guess the main loop of this game is to move through corporate headquarters buildings to big teleporters which you can use to get back to your ship. So that's what we're going to do.
That guard is wearing armor. Be careful, the disruptor won't work on him.
So,
Use his blind spots to slip by.
yeah, Central is telling us we can't shock this guard because they have heavy armor. We need an armor-piercing shocker, which we don't have. So we're going to need to use blind spots to get past this guard. And the way that we're going to do that is by abusing these yellow spaces here. Because, as we can see on the tooltip, these locations are hidden from the enemy. So we're going to end the turn so we can have some action points. I'm going to open the door, and we're going to go here. Actually, can we, no? Okay, we're going to go here. So you can see we can move through these without much incident, as long as there is as long as we select a hidden path through this field of vision, we're okay. So that's what we're going to do. So again, we've got this watched, noticed line that we've got to be aware of. So yeah, this is something you got to watch out for. Is that the game will occasionally path you through spaces that end you up getting noticed. So we're going to purposefully avoid that. Look through this door.
That looks like the last of the security detail. Observe his movements so there are no more surprises.
So this is that observation power I was talking about before.
Looks like he's patrolling. No trouble as long as we stay behind cover and out of his sight.
So yeah, we're just going to get through this door, close it up, and yeah, hide behind these desks. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but this space here, the sort of cursor that we have, there's like an eye icon next to it, facing off to this direction. That means that anyone facing this way can't see us. So there's no sort of fiddly line of sight algorithm that you have to contend with like you do in XCOM. You just have to make sure that you're invisible from that direction, which we are. So and these animations really sell that, actually, I think. Yeah, the cursor being unaligned, I'm not too sure how I can fix that. I will investigate that before next week because it's annoying, but I don't know. I don't know what I can do about it from here. So we just scuttle through here and we exit.
We're done here. Rendezvous with International and get ready for the next mission. We've got a lot more work to do.
And that's basically how this game works. Except normally, as Central mentioned, we're going to be rendezvousing with International because there are 2 agents in play at the start of most games. So I'm going to go for experience because I have ever played this game before. I'm not very good at it, but I have played it. So we're going to start this game like this.
Get to the main server, collect the data,
Oof.
and get out. No detours.
Copy that, Central.
Proceeding to target.
We get a nice cutscene. I like cutscenes.
Insertion was clean. Alarm level holding steady.
We need to get to the 3rd floor. We can make our way to the server room from there. Any chatter on the comms?
Negative. It's silent on all frequencies.
They should have detected us by now.
Receiving priority 1 transmission.
They're onto you. Get out. Get out of there!
Oof. Grim.
HQ compromised. We're going to need an extraction.
Yeah, this looks real good, huh? I'd probably watch a film that was animated like this.
Deckard and International are on their way.
Get to the roof. I'll cover you. Go!
Decker, how long till extraction?
30 seconds.
Get us out of here.
So yeah, basically everyone is dead. We were betrayed.
Got work to do.
We were betrayed by someone. We don't know who. Some corporation. Ugh, corporations. Some corporation found us doing our dark work on the internet, and they weren't happy with that. So they came in here. They did a big shoot. They shot us all up, and now. Well, what happened was our office was compromised, and Central, our friend Central, where is Central? I don't know, she's somewhere. Central ended up uninstalling Incognita from our office mainframe, considering our office was about to be extremely owned, and put it on this helicopter. So, I don't know if I... Oh, I do have these characters. What I will do is I will play as...
The best all-round operatives I've ever seen.
I'll play as Decker and International because...
Social concern. If used correctly, she's the bedrock upon which you can build a winning team. Just don't ask her about the plight of the global proletariat.
Don't ask her about the plight of the global... Excuse me? Well, I'm definitely playing with International now. How can you not be talking about the global proletariat in a cyberpunk dystopia? That's the point. But yeah, so I'll be playing with Decker and International because they are very much the default team of Invisible Inc. And above all else, they're like, I don't know, they're it's very hard to play the game without International. Oh, hey, thanks for following, Exime. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. And I love it when people follow the stream. So yeah, the thing about this game is Decker is kind of replaceable. Like he's good for learning the game because he has his well, they both have shockers, but he has that's it. He has his cloaking rig, which means he can turn invisible at the drop of a hat, which is great. And he can also uncover demons, which means that some of the hardware we're going to try and hack with our hacking tools has countermeasure software, which means that when we hack into it, bad things happen to us. And sometimes we won't be able to avoid that. Sometimes we'll need to hack a camera to get through a room, and it will just trigger a demon. So being able to know what that is going to be is very helpful. Oh my gosh, thank you for following, Orameza. I love it when people follow the stream. I love it. It means we get to see my fun stream widgets, which I like. So yeah, Decker is replaceable. International is, it's... I don't really understand how you're meant to play the game without International. I've heard people can do it, I certainly can't. International allows you to siphon power from consoles at range, which is it's really, really good. It also lets you hack from really far away, which is, again, really, really good. So, yeah, but we have a lot of other agents to choose from.
Muratova is a deadly weapon in...
I'm just gonna
Paulette was headstrong,
Oh, no.
aggressive.
But yeah,
I
we have a
found
lot of other
Decker
agents to
living in a
choose from.
brothel.
We have a lot of other agents to choose from, but I'm not going to choose them for now. Maybe if this goes well, or indeed badly, we'll choose the other kinds of agents, and we'll have a look at the sort of design decisions this game has to offer. But yes, we're going to play through this campaign with International and Decker, and our goal is to, well, it's to rob a series of futuristic corporate locations, just loot them for all they've got, in the sort of overall effort to find a mainframe that we can install Incognita onto, because she's only got 72 hours of power left, and she's pretty critical to our whole operation. So Snow Wraith says that Central has very little room for sentiment, and that's why she doesn't care about the plight of the global proletariat. I mean, I understand that, but why is she doing what she's doing if not that? Like, we're the protagonists of a cyberpunk story. You know, if we're not fighting for the downtrodden, what on earth are we doing? Oh yeah, the cursor is really offset from the screen. I'll definitely have to try and figure out why that's happening for next time. Okay, well, anyway, let's
Operator,
play
are you
the
there?
game.
Good. I was afraid you didn't make it out. Headquarters is gone. Most of our agents have been captured or killed, and our academy...
Yeah, I've explained this bit.
If that happens, we Incognita...
So we have this really nice, this sort of situation report screen with our remaining time, which counts in seconds, which I really like. It makes you feel very, like there's a lot at stake. And we are going to go to K&O executive terminals because it's the only place that we can go. So this is the thing I really like about this game, actually, is that you have 72 hours left and you think, well, that sounds like quite a long time. And then the first thing you mouse over tells you it'll be 12 hours of flight time. And it makes this whole thing feel very real. Because flying to places takes a long time. Like, even in the future, flying takes a long time. World's a big place. You know, helicopters only go so far.
Executives are notoriously slack when it comes to network security,
we
and their terminals
are
are full
gonna
of interesting information.
Infiltrate. We're going to fly on over to here, spend 12 of our 72 hours, and get ready to rob these people.
E-log acquired. Ready for transport.
Bad news, operator. They caught us completely by surprise, so we have no firepower with us. The guards' weapons are gene-coded to their owner, and you
Good old gene coding.
but be quick about it.
Okay, so I'm not going to discuss at length every play I take, every line I take, because that will take forever. I'm just going to try and play through this game and explain the more interesting wrinkles of each turn. So, Decker can't be there. So, immediately worth noting that Decker has more action points than International, and this is something that you can build up as you go. So, if we're going to scout, we're probably going to do it with Decker. Okay, so we have a lot of doors. That's quite a lot of doors. Let's look in this one. Okay, that's unhelpful. Okay, so already we have some power consoles. I like those. Not actually sure how close International has to be to hack these consoles, but I'm sure that's something I will gain a sense for over time. So yeah, we're looking to locate this executive terminal and make it out. So our two primary objectives will be to figure out A, where the executive terminal is, and B, where the teleporter is to get out. So I think I'm going to move through these doors first, just because they have the sort of earliest promise of resources. I'm going to move Decker over here, so he's close to this door, and end the turn. So, as you will have seen, the security level just increased. Now, the security level is a really interesting mechanic. It's what gives this game its immediacy, its urgency, I guess. The way that it works is at the end of every turn, this bar will increase by 1 increment. When it gets to 5, the security level will go up. Every time the security level goes up by 1, new security measures will be activated, because the corporations, they know we're here, they just don't know where we are. So they're gonna they're going to ratchet up the security until they can have some idea, well, until they can, you know, flush us out and deal with us. So, and it gets worse and worse the longer you stay. So we do have to do both of these things, but we need to do them quick. It's not a ponderous game. It's got a lot of snap, which I like. I like a game with snap. So we want to get those as often as we can. I just love a bit of power. Already, 19 power. Ridiculous. And we also have power drip, which gives us a power per turn, which is great. I love that. This is a guard elevator, isn't it? Which is sad, but notable. Decker is going to close this door on the way through, because I like closing doors. And we're going to continue. Okay, can International... Ooh, I'm not going to do that. Can International get to both of these? Yes. Can Decker get to either of these? Yes, you can get to both. You can get to this one and look through it, so let's look at both doors. Okay. So that's a camera, a chest, a safe, and something going on there. Might just be a weirdly rendered room, might be something worse, I don't really know. Let's look through here, see what we get.
That's an executive terminal.
Oh.
It still has a solitaire game up on the screen.
That's how you can tell it's executives, is we take the time to tell you that they are not hard workers. They're not the global proletariat. Right, so we're at max power, so we're going to look at spending some of this power. And I'm not going to break this immediately, because I think bad things might happen if I do, so I'm going to break this. Because that means that Decker can swan in here. Ooh, see, this is actually a more interesting room than I thought, or as bad as interesting as I thought. So we want to be absolutely careful that we don't, nothing bad happens to us here, if we can. Meanwhile, International is going to try and get through here. I think this mission might be deliberately not a big deal, but we shall see. These are famous last words, of course. Right. So, a really cool thing about this, and again, another way in which it benefits from its differences to XCOM in a way that just astonishes me. Like, this game is, wow, this game. Yeah, another way it benefits from those differences is the fact that because you have your teams of 2 people, like XCOM you have a team of 4 people, but ultimately they're all trying to achieve the same goal, and they're trying to achieve those goals in very similar ways. They're trying to, you're trying to kill all the aliens on the map, and everyone has a weapon, and everyone who's not contributing to that goal is kind of wasting your time. Whereas in this, you can do 2 different things. Decker can do his own thing, and International can do her own thing. And that is an interesting decision, because if they're not together, they can't pull each other out of the fire if things go wrong. But if they are separate, you cover more ground. You literally might be best advised to split up, or you might not. Alright, cool. This office is clear. It's one of the only games I've ever played where the phrase "let's split up" might actually be your best idea, or is it even just like a valid choice, you know? I dig it. It's good. The door over here. So these 2 doors are worthy of note, because we might have to go back that way, but Decker is going to cover that for us. So International is going to get what is in here, and we need to... Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, we get our site list, so we actually have targets for the mission.
Great. When you activated that terminal, it sent out an automated message to change up the guard duty. Be prepared for new patrol patterns.
So that's something that happens quite a lot, is that the guard patrols change. That's interesting. What about here? So I think I probably want to group them up a bit more now, because we don't really know where we're going, and having them here and here seems bad. So
Hey Mustard Pot, welcome to the stream. We're playing Invisible Ink. Right, in this turn. So we go to alarm level 1. Some of the cameras that were off power on. Right, begin by having Deckard look through this door. So we have a locked door between these two rooms. What is through here, I wonder? Let's have a look. Nothing. Classic. I love that procedural generation. The procedural generation in this game is generally really good. Like, what happens if I open this door? Okay, we have a camera, sure. But there is otherwise nothing in there. Okay, there's a safe. And there's a camera that's just turning on, so I'll hack it. Hack them all. I love hacking. It's great. Okay, so that means that there is nothing else of interest in here. So that means that Deckard can get into this safe. And International can move on these doors. Nice. This is by the safe, isn't it? Ta-da! I've got a stim. Stim 1 versus this other stuff I have. Well, these things are pretty critical to my plan, so... One-time use, revive a dying agent, or restore 4 AP. I like this. Oh, no, that's not what I'm looking for. How do I... Oh. Oh, hey, thanks for following, Mustard Pot. Okay, so... Let's bin this. Heck it. I don't like it. Who's gonna get hit anyway? Some kind of lax nerd. That's who. I can't put it back in there now, can I? Rats. Okay, we're just gonna book it through these rooms. We can close this door, can't we? So we're just looking for the way out. Ooh. That's extremely bad. Am I gonna fail the tutorial mission? That would suck. Yeah. Okay, so what I think I could probably do this turn is, instead of getting owned by this guard in the first mission of the game, is I can use one of my rewinds. You have rewinds take you to the start of your last turn, which lets you undo anything that happens that you didn't expect by the guards, which is nice. And it means that this rookie mistake probably never happened. And because I get 3 per mission, I'm just going to do that, because... yeah. So, what did we do? We got this from in here. That also means that we can... Can we swap these? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. We're just doing the stem. Do that instead. Nice. Okay. Means that we don't leave suspicious evidence on the floor, which is nice. So, rather than get owned by that guard, we're going to hide. And can we do anything else with this action? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, we can go into ambush mode. It's a fast boy. Right, okay. So, what's this chap gonna do? Walk right into my trap. He's going to literally activate my trap. So, with that in mind, since we are unseen up until this point, let's move to here, close this door, and hide here. That means that the guard will walk to here, won't see Decker, will get shocked by International. Great, love it. Let's do it. Oh, ambush ready. Let's go. Ooh, that was a weird grunt, but okay. So yeah. Are you for real right now? That's the worst. I guess International and Decker can just trade places. Can you even go to ambush while you're standing on top of a guard? I have no idea. Let's take his stuff. Weird. Okay. Let's take no chances and drag this body over to here. Go over here and ambush.
What the?
This is the worst. This is really rubbish. Okay, so this location is watched by the enemy. So the enemy will turn as you move. So does that mean if I move here I die? No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so options available to me are... I should have hid here, that's what I should have done. Being out of cover, bad. Not smart. I knew this was a hidden space and I didn't stand here anyway. This is exciting, isn't it? How many sight list finding missions are as exciting as this one, eh? Not many. Right, well I'm gonna... Rends the user invisible if they... Okay, I'm going to evade the site, just in case we go 3 for 3 on...
They got away.
Damn it, they got away. Indeed they did. Right. Leave you here. You're going to stay in ambush mode. Yep, just make sure, and we're going to make sure you're... Yeah, okay. Get shocked, nerd. Owned. Completely owned. Wow. This was a surprisingly hot first mission of the game. So we're going to have Incognita International come and collect this card from Decker, so they're not over encumbered. It seems that Decker has lost the AP anyway. Whatever, that's fine. We're just going to leave these guards in our dust. We've got perfect information of these areas, so we don't need to worry about stuff coming up behind us. But normally it might be good to get into cover behind these spaces. And to avoid any more embarrassing things going on, we're going to make sure we peek through these doors. Now, we need to make a choice. Are we going to go for these doors, or are we going to go for these doors? I think I'm going to go for these doors. And there's the teleporter. I love it when there's the teleporter. So we're just going to prepare as much as we can for rushing this teleporter down, which we're probably going to do by going through this way, so we can... I mean, we could peek around the corner and hack the camera, but judging by the way this room is looking, I'm going to take a stab that we can get through this way. So we're going to let this turn. This door. Do you know, Mimi, I'm gay for International. How could you not be gay for International? She's so pretty, she's got radical praxis, she loves the global proletariat, she's shock, she loved to shock. I love it. What a great character. Why can't all communists be like International, huh? We still can't see that camera, which is really annoying. Yes, what was I going to say? As any good cyberpunk game ought to be, Invisible Ink is good and queer. Where is that? There it is. Whoop. Okay, that, I believe, clears us out for this. Oh yeah, we could hack this, couldn't we? Get some fat loot. I love credits. One more thing that is worth knowing about is the way that the teleporter works is you can exit the level alone, which you might end up doing. Sort of an interest, like a sort of a, I guess an ominous prompt is the idea that you could have to leave one of your agents behind, and that might be the best thing that you have to do. It's cool. I like it. For some reason I ended my turn rather than clicking exit level, but where's that guard spawned? Why do we know that they've spawned? Okay, whatever. Anyway, bye-bye.
Excellent work, operator. Now to sift through the data and find the juiciest targets.
So if we were feeling particularly greedy, we could have found the lift and then gone through the rest of the level for more loot, but ultimately I decided not to do that. So we end up with... we haven't met... There's a character who can sell us programs that we can install on Incognita, but we haven't met them yet. So instead, we're going to upgrade Decker or International, and we can do that in 3 different ways. We can either give them more action points, we can give them better hacking, we can give them more strength so they can carry more things and drag things faster, or we can increase their anarchy, which does a sort of a weird collection of things. It means that they can steal better, steal more money, and yeah. Anarchy is a weird one because it's cheap-ish, but it feels bad to upgrade until the late game, where you think, actually, maybe this would be quite good, by which point it's too late. Like, the earlier that you put points into Anarchy, the better. But I think ultimately I'm going to go for the more traditional stats of speed and or hacking. And I think I'm probably going to go for more power per hijack, because I like that idea. Like, having Decker and International with the same speed stat is quite good. But I think, as it stands, I could do this because I like this means that we're now adding, we're adding 2 power on top of every console that we hijack, which means actually we're closer to being able to get rid of this power drip, which is good because it's a credit source for us. So those words.
I've re-established contact with Monster. His network picked up the attack just before it hit us, and we're working to trace it back to the source. In the meantime,
okay.
he's offered to sell us some of his more rarefied stock.
This is Monster. Monster sells us loot
Thank you, Monster.
of various kinds. Okay, so yeah, here we go. We can access Monster now for whatever reason.
Big risk selling to you right now, so don't make me regret it.
What does that mean? Minus 240. Okay, sure. That means I will lose.
I was hoping to keep that one for myself anyway.
Anyway. Let's select a mission. So, this has a sort of Into the Breach style corporate location system where the different corporations not only have different kinds of facilities, but those different kinds of facilities do different, they have different defenses, they have different loot, all kinds of stuff. So the choice that you make is made even more interesting, and also how far away they are is relevant, which I like. So we have a cybernetics lab, a vault, a financial suite, and a server farm. Server
This is a data
farms.
center that handles network security for the region. We can find programs here that will give Incognita some new
Right,
tricks
so
to use in the field.
that lets us upgrade Incognita more.
There's a highly placed executive burning the midnight oil at this office.
This gives
Half the
us a
security
vault
detail that
access
someone with
card.
that kind of access would usually have.
That gives us a vault access card. Vault access cards are really interesting because they mean, for some reason, it's a key to a vault that will be either it's like a master key to a particular kind of vault, or it's just a key to another vault that you will definitely bump into later on, which is cool. It's you get to bank as a big heist for later, and that's neat. I like that. It is a
This
nice
corporate
risk
treasure
reward.
house. It should be stuffed with credits and
So,
valuable
this is a
artifacts that
vault.
would do far more good in our coffers. The best stuff will need a blank key card, though, so temper your expectations
that's it.
if you don't bring one.
Right, yes. So that's the other thing, is that you get the vault keys from these vault key missions, and then you get vault missions which have loot in them anyway, but have better stuff in them if you have the vault key. And then this one is a cybernetics lab, which lets you augment your characters. So I think I'm probably going to get this
There's
vault
a highly
key.
placed executive.
And what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to do this mission and then call the stream, because it's almost midnight. But this has been a lot of fun. I really like Invisible Ink. I really like playing it. It's a very different. It exists on a very different scale to Into the Breach, and it means that it's easier for me to talk about the design of the game while I play it. Whereas with Into the Breach, I end up just talking through the line of play I'm going to take, which, you know, not the worst thing, but I like this too. So this is a nanofab, which is good. It's a shop that we can access remotely. However, we're not looking too good on money, so I think we're going to chance that we might find some by going this way first. And lo and behold, there's a safe. Right, what's in this room? This is a power supply which powers another device somewhere else. This camera will probably be turning on soonish. Okay, this is locked. What's in here? Anything? Or is it just the safe? It might just be the safe. Right. What can we see, Deco? Let's see what we can see. This isn't booting up yet. Worth knowing. Deco could not get through there. Oh, we've also left this door open. Haha! Told you it would happen. Right. So another thing is, because we've got this locked door, we're going to be looking for, I mean, there might be one in the safe, but we're going to be looking for a guard to get a security key off. So that. What's in here? Camera. And the lift. That's really good. Now the lift. I always say this is a lift because it looks kind of like an elevator, which I guess is intentional, but it's a teleporter. Yeah, so this is really good to find early on in the level, because it means we know where we need to go, which is great. We're going to open this door. Ooh. And here is our security guard. What's he going to do next? Stationary. That's good for us. Because that means that we can... we can't pickpocket him without knocking him out, which is sad. But I think we might do it anyway. Yeah, let's do that. Because then we get to hack this, we get some money, maybe he has some money. Yeah, let's just do this. I wonder if he has a security card. Wouldn't you know it, he does. Excellent. Okay, you close this door, so that means we get to go through this door and explore this part of the level before we go back this way. We're going to leave International on top of this guard. So his pin timer doesn't tick down. Okay, I'm going to loot this box. So these are a fun device because they allow you to. Oh, we can actually just go through here anyway. That was awkward. Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, these devices, once hacked, allow you to remotely control other systems. Rather than just hacking the systems so they don't affect you, you can particularly turn them on and off. Also, this lets you interact with systems that the game has made unhackable, which is cool. It lets you, you know, deal with hackable stuff, unhackable stuff by hacking it, which is nice. See, we've opened a door over there. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, it's like some kind of laser gate. Yeah. So, open door. Is there anything else in here? No. So, once again, we've been procedurally generated. But that's fine. Having this key is good for us. That's fine. Good. Close this door, maybe. And now that we have 500 credits, I'm going to hack this nanofab, because that means that we can, you know, do stuff with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this guard over to here, and then drop him, because it means he's in a less visible position should anyone end up in here. And we're going to end our turn. So yeah, if I appear to be kind of trigger happy with my hacking, it's because the later in the level that we end up, the more likely those firewalls are to get stronger, and because our power generation is constant, doesn't ramp up, that means that chances are we're going to want to get these firewalls while they're only one lockpick to get through. Yeah, unfortunately, he's probably going to wake up quite soon. But, oh well, that's fine. He'll get over it. We just want to watch our backs, basically. So, I guess another thing I really like about this game is the way that the map renders. It means that, like, this decision that we had at the beginning where we had a door here and a door here, like, because you can only see this room, and the game, you know, does a pretty good job of obscuring the size of the map, it means that, like, it's a real decision which way you want to go, because this way could spin off. You could spend, like, half an hour exploring in this, I mean, not in this particular level, but you could end up spending half an hour exploring in one direction, and the other direction could just be your goal. You know, that leaves for some real cool moments where you just sort of are kicking yourself because you picked the wrong door at the beginning, and you know you didn't take the time to peek through it and verify that kind of thing. So did we determine that this was a camera? Ooh, yes, let's hack that. Bonk. So we also gain access to the secondary server terminal. Oh, let's have some power. Yum. Yeah, let's just end here. Oh shit. Okay. That was lucky. So that guard, so yeah, those footstep indicators tell us roughly where the guard is, and that's another thing I really like about them actually, is it's sort of, because it's these rapid pulses that sort of track a very erratic line, you don't get a complete picture of where the guard ends up. I really like that. It means you don't get to directly track them, you know? So, let's see where this guard is. Right here, eh?
What's your plan? You're going to patrol back that way. Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. International is going to end up on that nano fab. Did something weird happen with the view change, or did it just look weird? Oh, I see. Being able to, yeah, yeah. That's really weird. Is that like these are clearly not models, I guess, but the view change looks kind of weird. Yeah, I can see why you'd say that. Right. So this nanofab is offering us a distributed processing module and a thermal disruptor and some consumable items. So this is a pretty easy swap for me, because the thermal disruptor lets you penetrate armor, which is really good when the guards turn out to have armor and you have your crappy level 1 neural disruptor. It means you don't get to shock them. Being able to do that is really good. So I'm just gonna make the swap. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna maintain my hubris and not grab a med gel. I'm just gonna try and ride this one out. I can't let me reorder my inventory. No, rats. Right. Do we want to hack this? Yeah, let's hack this. There's a camera booting up there. That might be worth hacking actually, because that means we get to see if this guard down here is about to cause any problems. Do that. Let's have International again. I'm going to make that mistake a lot. Investigate this. Oh, this lets us. I see. This lets us buy our incognito programs. Okay. So we can buy another lockpick, which we have already, or an overdrive, which you spend a power. Oh no! All your programs cool down faster but cost 1 more power to use. This seems like it could be quite powerful, but we're not really in a position to use it right now, so I'm gonna get that power though. Ooh, that was a misclick. Right. So if we know this guard is moving back this way, I think what I want to do is try and get a more complete picture of this room. And I feel like we can do that by opening this door. It's either opening this door and looking through it, or peeking through this door. And I guess since this is where the guard is going to patrol to, I guess I want to do this. Okay, this is a pretty tight corridor, but that's okay. Did I end up hacking that camera? Yes. Yeah, see, they make running sounds even when they're just walking. I quite like that. So let's get a better look in this room, I think, is my plan. Rotate the view again. I feel like the chance that this is an actual passageway is pretty low. So I'm just going to close that up again. And this guard is, for some reason, interrogating, having just a real long look at this corner. So I'm going to have another look in this room. Okay, so we want to get through that door if we can. And this guard is coming back this way. Right. So beginning the turn with 9 action points. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And International can go 8. So that's enough. So if we move International into here, we're fine, basically. Just close this door up, let him run back that way, and yeah, easy. Let's do that. So this guard, we happen to know, is awake again and is interested in moving to here, because I guess this is where he was shocked. He knows he was moved, maybe, but whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna trundle on through here, open up this door. We use Deckard's bonus action points to make sure we're safe going through this door, which we are. We get some more power, which is nice. Move Deckard out of the way. Make sure we close the door on our way back, on our way through even. Close both the doors. Go out to here. Get this power. And move out of the door frame, I guess. Looking to move through to here. So we saw this wall and it wasn't a door. Great, that's really good because it means that we have. Means that we're moving pretty nicely through here. Nice.
Investigating.
This is that executive suite. Now, if I remember correctly, the vault card will be on the body of an executive who we will have to shock. And shocking an executive is risky. They have like heart monitors and stuff.
The executive
There
has
he
been
is.
located. Disable him and get his cerebral implant ready for the interrogation.
Get his cerebral implant ready for the interrogation. That's one hell of a line. I love that. So he is going to be stationary. Great, I love that. We're going to get into position to give him a big electro shank, and probably going to have International park on top of him while he is interrogated. Actually, I'm going to have International pass. We're going to swap disruptors because Deckard is more mobile and can investigate around, and International is less mobile, but currently she has the better shocker, and this guy probably has armored guards, so they're going to do a little swap. I'm gonna end up like reshuffling my whole inventory. This is gonna drive me to distraction. Oh my gosh, it's Shock Sorbet. Hey, welcome to the stream. We're playing Invisible Ink, a game you would really like. Yeah, Decker is gonna go scout, International is gonna do the shocking. We end this turn out of cover, which is a mistake, but it's the one I've now made. So, yeah, we're good. So this card might, I don't know, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. Right, so move to here. That's a safe, which is worth knowing about. We're gonna shock you.
We're digging into his cerebral implant now, but it'll take a few minutes. Stay close to the target so I can keep the scan running.
Take this guy's wallet. He's got a lot of dosh. And we will probably pick him up and move. Sadly, we can't move to here, which is where I want to be, but we can move to here. Decker is going to get a look at what else we have to contend with, if indeed anything. Oh, good. This is really good. This is really good for us. In a sarcastic way. This is bad for us. Right, so. Oh, there's another door there. Right, okay. In that case, we can't cover both of these angles. That's so rough. We can observe this guy though. Okay. So, this is an interesting conundrum because this gentleman here, this financial executive, has a heart monitor, which, or rather, wait, does that only trigger if the unit dies? So that means that as long as we're interrogating his cerebral implant, we'll be okay? Okay, well, basically, if we are compromised in any way, we've got guards coming from both directions, which is rough. So, we've got to be careful, is what I'm saying. We've got 6 turns until the brain scan is complete. Who knows what will happen between now and then? Let's find out. See, those are those firewall upgrades I was talking about.
Begin deepening the scan.
Okay, so International, you wander over there. You're now completely invisible to anyone standing like here, which is great. And Decker. Oh, we can see this guard, so it actually makes more sense for us to cover this door because of our camera. Did we just... Oh, right. We only got a little bit of information. We got some. So... He's on his phone. His boss is having his cerebral implant interrogated and he's on his phone. Lovely. Okay. Just put you down, get some more action points, and pass. So yeah, this is one of the other things that is really good about Invisible Ink. Expect to hear me say that phrase a lot. The objectives are all
This is going to be trickier than
very
expected.
different. The way that you interact with the ways to complete each individual mission, the ways that you interact with all of those is they are varied, and they are the way that you approach them is completely different. Like in XCOM, and again, I like XCOM, I really like XCOM, but in XCOM the way that you interact with objectives is generally shoot aliens in different ways, which again, no bad thing. But in this game, like, you see here we've got this high value target that we have to stay near, and maybe his security detail turns up at some point, and that's something that we have to work around. We have to use this room as a sneaking space while one of us is like static and trying to find a place to hide or something like that. But then, as eventually we'll see, that there are lots of different ways, lots of different objectives that we end up interacting with, and that's cool. Or Mesa says, boss makes a dollar, I make a dime, and that's why I let my boss get cerebrally interrogated. And absolutely, like, if the boss is going to appropriate your labor, who are you to say that he shouldn't have his fucking brain just bored into with digital, drills? I'm really paranoid that this one's going to just run in through here. It's really annoying. At least we know where we're going. The other thing is, I want to get this. I want to get it. And I might do that. I might get really greedy and open this door so this guard comes to investigate and gets shocked. The one thing that I should worry about is that this teleporter here is going to bring in guards if this security level increases, or possibly just when this objective completes. So this being here is a problem, but I think we'll be okay. I believe in us. So I think maybe closer to the end of this, because I don't want to be parked on top of this guy for ages. So I think closer to the end of this, maybe when we get to 1 or 2 turns left, I'll shock this guy. But for now, we're gonna wait. Ooh, so these are those armored security guards that we've told about.
Expect more company soon.
These are those armored security guards we heard about. We don't like these people. And that person is coming to investigate, which is bad for us. Right, so in that case, it depends on how this plays out. Like, what I might do, how close do I need to stay to the executive? Let's find out. Because I need my armor-piercing weapon to beat this one, but I need another one to beat this one. So what I might do is have International here, open this door, get him in to get shocked, and then shock the Enforcer when the Enforcer turns up. Now, the problem with that is if the Enforcer can just make a beeline through to here, we have a big problem. But I'm going to take the risk, because I like to do that. So you're going to go here, you're going to go here.
Stop. Move any further away from the target and you'll sever our connection permanently.
Does that mean I have or haven't done that? this seems okay. I'm gonna assume that this has worked. So International has the weaker shocker, so she's going to do the ambushing. I'm going to open the door. This guard is going to get suspicious, and we're going to shock him. I think that's all that we're doing this turn. And we're just hoping that this enforcer... Ooh, we get to look at this enforcer. There's another... Okay, sure. I want this. Okay. I hope this works. Is there another camera? Oof, rough. Okay, cool. This worked. Nice. So now, even if the enforcer sees one of us, Decker can shock him.
Incognita is in. We've broken him down now. Almost there, operator.
So, interestingly enough, the enforcer is not armored. Which means that we didn't actually need Decker's powered shocker to get through. But that's fine. We've not actually lost anything. Okay, fine. I'll pick up this med gel if you insist, but I will take the vault key if that's what we need that inventory space for. So I think he's still investigating this space, so he's still going to come through this door, so I still do want to shock him. So Decker is going to go on ambush, and International is going to drag this body into this corner. Shocky, shocky. Right, what does this enforcer
Data's
have?
starting to come in now. Just a little longer.
Oh, no. Oh, no loot. Are you serious? Oh, also only stays down for 2 turns. That's rough. Means my chances of this getting this safe aren't looking too good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to give up on this, especially since we've stolen all this money from all of these guards. I think we're okay. So, with that in mind, I'll just leave these bodies here. Probably pin this one over this one, because this one, he's just going to run away. He's not combat trained. And Decker is going to close his door, move back onto this space, and drag this enforcer this way. Probably leave him here, because this is almost complete. And we can leave after that. And we just need to figure out how to get past these guards. There's one here who is patrolling and one here who is actively seeking us out. So he might be more of a problem than him, but we shall see. This is actually quite a tight movement. Like, we need to begin our turn here to get through here. But we can do it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So Snow Wraith says extra guards never have loot because you can't farm them, and that's cool. I dig that. That's smart. Okay. Shark Sorbet says this game looks nuts, so much stuff is going on, and that is absolutely the case. This game is a lot consistently, but I love it. I love it. It's really good, and it's like. It's a lot of stuff, but it is manageable. Like, I think if you're if you're an anxious person, you will probably have a difficult time with this game. But I think otherwise, I think you will, if you like tactics games, I think you'll really like this game because you can develop a sense for most of these things. We're going to pass the turn. We're going to complete our... You're really not having a look around here, are you? Like, you gained 1 square of additional vision there. That was bad. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, this is really bad.
We've got the vault passcodes. I've ejected a mem chip from his port. Grab it and get the hell out of there.
You've ejected a mem chip from his port. That's hilarious. Imagine that. Someone remotely presses a button and your head just exudes a flipping SD card. Jeez. Is this No, that's just the enforcer. Oh, I see. There's a weird thing going on there with this. Okay. So our plan now is to just get through this door this turn, which Decker can't do, which sucks. International is going to grab this chip. Sorry, Medja, you get out of here. Wait, we don't need the security pass card, do we? All of the doors between here and there are clean, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the only door that we needed the guard to get through, and it doesn't go anywhere. So, with that in mind, we're going to... what are we going to do? This space isn't being investigated yet, so hopefully this guard will just be on patrol, in which case it won't matter too much what we do. So, International is going to hide behind this potted plant, and Decker is going to hide behind this table. Here, because it's close to the door. And lest we forget, Decker can, in a pinch, turn invisible. So that's good. We like that. What a terrible guard. Where are you going? Oh, yeah, no, never mind. What a terrible guard. Log off, guard. Wow, you went the wrong way. You got called in as an increased security detail to your boss's office and you didn't think to check on him. Does no one here have a phone? Like, I mean, I know we're striking pretty quickly and in the dark, but like, come on. Have some situational awareness. Right, just, make absolutely sure we're not blundering into a guard. Doesn't look like we are. Yeah, we've got plenty of AP. Oh. Okay, we go here. International closes the door. And goes... actually, probably Decker goes here. International goes here. Because she has fewer action points. Boop. So what's going to happen next turn is this guard is going to patrol either from here to here or from here to here, but either way we'll see it and we can just rush on past. This is a problem because we don't know where this guy is, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. There we go. So you patrol that way. You... What are you doing?
Looking around. Guess it was nothing.
Guess it was nothing. Famous last words. Is there anything else we can hack while we're here? Nothing of any use, I guess. So, open the door. Move through to the opening of the next door. Have a little peek. Wait, we can end up here, which I think actually inures us to this guy better than anything else we can do, so we can do that. Yeah, unless there's like a magical additional patrol. Yeah, that's fine. Close all the doors. No one will ever know we were here. That guard expects that door to be open, doesn't he? So, can Deco? Yes. So this is annoying. He's kind of following us to the lift, but yeah, whatever. Decker, tell us what he's doing now. So he's coming back out and ending up there? That's wild. But fine, I guess. We've already looted this guy, so if we don't want to shock him, we probably shouldn't. Yeah. So we're just gonna Just gonna calmly move through these doors, and that's annoying. Decker can only actually get to one of these spaces, which means it might be fine for us to, desirable for us to close the door. And ambush, I don't know. Just keep ourselves covered in case of emergency. But I think this guard is converging. Ooh, throwing a scanning grenade into the room. Interesting. Didn't open the door, which is annoying because it means we'll need to shock him. But look at this loser. Fleeing intruders. That's us. Ooh. Alright. Anyway, open door. What was that indeed? KO guard. Escape. Yeah, I don't think there's a chance that there'll be anything else in here. So we'll just, again, make sure to close all of the doors. And that should be the mission.
Looking around.
This is like endlessly satisfying about playing this game, is that they just sort of flounder around looking for you in sections of the level that you've left. Ooh, drones. Love a good drone. Sadly, we're not gonna see that and get much work done in this mission. But yeah, that's the game. That's the mission.
Good work, operator. We can rekey that card to give us access to any corporate lockbox.
So yeah, that gives us a vault key, which lets us open a vault in a later mission. But we also got a sizable chunk of loot. We got money. We got a new shocker. We got a med gel. We got yeah, we did pretty good. That increases our net worth. That's us.
I'm taking a big risk selling to you right now, so don't make me regret it.
He says that a lot, but I very rarely buy stuff from Monster. See, this seems bad. Like, log off, Monster. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably do some upgrades, and then what shall I upgrade? What's a good thing to upgrade? We could give Decker some more, because he's carrying 3 items all the time now, which means maybe we want to give him some more strength. Carry some more items, be better at dragging. Drag him, Decker. Yeah, let's get better at dragging. And with our remaining 800 credits, actually, let's see what missions are available. Like what? Yeah.
We're running blind out here. Carry on, operator.
We'll figure something out, right? So, ooh, we can actually go to the vault next
This
mission.
is a corporate treasure house. It should be stuffed with credits and valuable artifacts that would do far more good in our coffers. The best stuff will need a blank key card, though. So
Okay, so getting the vault before doing this vault, getting the key to the vault before doing the vault mission turned out to be a pretty smart idea. So that's probably what we're going to do next. K&O are a weapons foundry, so I think it's probably better for us to upgrade our agents rather than leave our money open for buying things. So we are gonna shut up, Monster.
Thing for a client.
We have 500 and 300. I'm trying to see if I can get 2 with this 800, and unless I upgrade Incognito, International. God, I'm gonna get that wrong every single time, aren't I? Unless I get a 300 and a 500, it's not looking likely. So instead, I'm gonna go in on Decker's speed, and we're gonna go to the mission select screen, and then I am going to I'm gonna save and quit the game because it is midnight. But thank you everyone for coming to another episode of Let Us Cling Together, Tactics and Togetherness, where we finished our entirely streamed Into the Breach campaign and started playing Invisible Ink. I hope you'll join us on Wednesday for another episode of Jane Bloodborne's House of Eyeballs, which promises to be a real belter. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Thank you to the chat, and I will see you all next time.